So our next speaker is Uri Strauss. So let me make sure he gets set up. Hello, Uri.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So you want to use the lectern or you want to?
No,
You have
on
yours?
yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So Uri comes with 2 decades of experience in IT. He's been CEO of a trading platform for financial products like cryptocurrencies and metals and other financial products. Also, he was CEO and founder of a company that helped develop e-commerce brands. So throughout his career, he's seen how the online sales funnel is important and what main challenges are to convert a visitor to your website into a customer. So who is going to talk to us about those hidden roadblocks, because there is a lot of money on the table with those. Thank you, Uri.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Excited to be here. So just imagine you own a website, okay? And then you own a physical store. So let's say you're selling clothes at the store, okay? And you have a door, right? The door opens and closes when people come. You're inside a mall, and someone walks in the door and hits the door in his face. That's like the first time he walks in. He looks to the right, to the left, tries to walk in again, hits his head again. It's like, oh my God. And then suddenly the door opens up successfully. He's in the store. He's walking around looking for specifically a shirt, a white shirt. He's looking. He can find size 12, size 14. He can't find size 18. It's out of stock, but he's looking. And he's stuck there, and he's digging, and he can't find it. So he bought something else. He walks up to the cashier. He wants to pay. Credit card doesn't work. Once, twice. He says, oh, wait, I have a coupon. I'll use a coupon. The coupon code doesn't work. Tries it once, tries it twice. This is what's happening. Physically, that won't happen, right? If you have this store, a physical store, you will help these people down the funnel. You will help them find what they're looking for. You'll help them with the payment. You will help them. But in e-commerce, we got used to that's how it works, right? People are struggling to log in. They forgot their password. Like 40% of people forget their password. They try to log in. They fail. They leave. The system is working perfectly. It's not the right password. But the user just left. There's always friction points happening on the website 24/7, and you're losing huge sums of money. You're just not aware of it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about, all these friction points. The thing is, after a user hits this friction point, they're going to leave. So our statistics show that 1 out of 10 people will come back to your website after having this friction. So the first impression has to be amazing, and to keep the customer and to keep him happy, for him to purchase or for her and to come back again. Okay, so these numbers, let me maybe start off with 2 things. One is, please let's have a conversation. I don't want to have Q&A at the end. Any question, please raise your hand. There's a lot of data, a lot of insights. I'm going to dig deep. There's numbers here that I'd like you to question. So any question, please raise your hand. The source of this data is coming from Webeyes. We saw online between 75 and 88% of people not coming back once they had this, they're going to abandon, once they had this issue. It's hard. E-commerce is hard. It's not easy to bring the customers. The cost of acquisition is higher. There's let's call it recession. Let's call it harder times. It's not easy, okay? And selling online is not easy. And I mean, the inflation is rising. The CAC is rising. Everything is harder, okay? So you already have a customer on the website. Let's at least give him the best service possible, like you have in a store. If someone had a problem, you would help them. let's help them online too. So, like I said, I'm going to show you a lot of data, okay? And a lot of insights. All the insights were gathered by our system. We're monitoring for the past around year and a half over 1 billion sessions, flows, different industries.
Is this a US-based data or worldwide?
Is that what?
Is this a US-based data or is it
Worldwide,
worldwide?
yeah. And we categorize the friction into tech and business. I'll explain in a second what that means. But you'll see a difference between the tech friction and the business friction. I'm going to talk a lot about lost revenue. So basically, you're losing revenue 24/7 on the website. That's a fact. The question is how much and where it's happening. The way that we calculate lost revenue is basically we're taking, if you see the top table, we're looking at sessions. If, for example, we're taking one call to action, let's say add to cart, okay? So we're taking one specific action, and we're looking for the success rate, or sorry, the conversion rate to purchase if there's no failures of add to cart in that session, okay? And the failure would be a session, we categorize it, a failed session would be a session that has at least one failure while they're trying to purchase. We check if there's a conversion impact, and then that's how we generate the lost revenue, by that conversion impact of those specific issues that we're seeing. Okay? So on the bottom is an example of all kinds of friction points, specifically, I think it's add to cart, and you can see that we have the actual error message, we can see how many sessions it happened on, the conversion impact, and the actual lost revenue. And then, of course, you can dig deeper and see more, but I just want to explain how we calculate lost revenue. So it just depends on the website, okay? But on average, you're losing between 25 and 30% daily, monthly, yearly of your revenue. So if, for example, let's talk about, for example, this is an example we have also online. We have a calculator online. You can play with it. So all the data that I'm going to present now is based on these numbers, okay? So basically, we're looking at health and beauty, that's the industry. We're looking at AOV of $100 and 1 million sessions per month. Okay, so all the data that I'm going to present from now on is based on these numbers. And of course, you can make the math, understand if it's like double the sessions probably, or the AOV, you understand the math. In this case, and it really depends on the conversion rate. So let's say we're talking about a conversion rate of 1%. That means that you're selling probably $1 million a month. That means that you're losing 32% daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Okay? If it's 2%, that would be like, if it's like a 2% conversion rate, just cut that in half. But these are the numbers. These are the numbers you're losing on a daily basis. So I took that number, and now we're splitting it into the different friction points. Okay? So first of all, I'm going to talk about the lost revenue on the business side. Okay? So a lost revenue on the business side can be any goal that the user is trying to take. That could be login, registration, add to cart, remove from cart, billing information, applying the credit card, coupon codes, etc. That would be anything that's a business issue. And it doesn't matter if it's failing. That's a business goal. Okay? It could be failing because of someone forgetting the password. It could be a wrong coupon code. It could be out of stock. But it could be the server's not responding. But that would still be categorized over here. Okay, so what we're seeing here is, I can't see anything, so. Okay, so what we see is that out of those, if you remember, we were talking about $326,000 lost. So you can see that 148 out of them are lost on the business level. Okay, so number one would be the login and registration, the place order, discounts, and then other issues happening. So let's go one by one and see all the friction points. And by the way, this data is based on anonymously, all of our users. We have the information. We're presenting it to you on an average. This is, of course, on an average level of all of our customers together. specifically for that segment of industry that we spoke about. Okay, login issues. What we're seeing is $37 or let's say $38,000 lost in total of people where they're trying to log in and register. That means that the impact of the conversion rate is pretty high. You can see these are the errors that the users are receiving. Invalid username or password. They're receiving, there's some kind of technical error while they're trying to log in and register, and there's registration errors, but that's very, very minimal. So you see this information, and for example, the username password, invalid username password. It's, I hear customers say, so what can I do? He forgot his password. The system is working correctly. We're good. But that's not good enough because these people are bouncing. On average, between specifically login, on average around 40% of users are bouncing because of wrong email password. If you go to the physical world again, that's someone banging on your door again and again and not able to walk into your store. It's crazy. So what can we do to fix it? There's many things you can do to fix it. One is, if you don't have social logins, add social logins. Okay, that's an easier way. They're not going to forget their Google password, their Facebook password. Usually you're automatically already inside the system, so you're good. If you already have the social logins, connect it to the users. Because it's not enough to have it, you want them to use it. So if someone logs in and you detect that it has a social, just try to, not upsell, but force him into that interaction and having him log in with a social login. Next time he won't forget it. He's in. That's it. You're done with that knocking the face on the door. OTP. We see customers using OTP, one-time password. They won't forget their mobile number. They'll get a text message. It's more secure, and they're in. They don't have to remember their password. A magic link. Many companies use magic links. Having a reward program. Actually, people don't forget that, and they're back more and more for the rewards. They log in more. I mean, grocery stores is like the easiest. You log in like 3 times a week. You purchase. You usually won't forget that. But not all of the interactions are like at a grocery store, and people log in like once a month, once in 2 months. Having a reward program will bring them back. And one little tweak that we see is, first of all, have your forget password work. In many cases, it just doesn't work. And then people are clicking on forget password, or the funniest thing is what we see: people try to log in, it fails. They try again, it fails. They try to reset the they try to register, and the number one errors in registration is user already exists. So that's like a cycle. There's a cycle, and then okay, let's try to reset the password. That doesn't always help. Okay, so just let these people in. They want to buy. Any questions about the logins? You send the link and you click and you're in. That's it. It's magic. Sorry?
The app for the conference uses that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't have to remember a password anymore. That's it. Place orders. Okay, place orders is a big issue. That's like the highest intent. They want to give you their money. They want to pay. They're hitting a wall again. They're not able to. In many cases, it's declined, technical errors, invalid shipping address. These are like the top 3. We see many kinds. Okay, we see the lowest. So we have, for example, if you remember the table in the beginning, we have the successful, the sessions that had success, and the ones that had at least one failure. The ones that have success on a payment, of course, it's 100% conversion because they're successful. If you have at least one failure, what we see the statistics is the lowest conversion rate would be 30%. Okay? So if you have like at least one failure, any failure, you would be at 30% conversion to purchase if you have at least one failure. And we see the highest at 80. So there's a huge difference between this 30 and 80% on the conversion rate when people are failing. So I would urge you to look at your payment system, what can be done, and these are things that, card declined, what can you do with it? First of all, add payment methods. Many companies have one payment method, it's a credit card, it's declined, you're done. That's it, you're stuck. No way out of it. They leave. Add any kind of payment. It could be online, it could be offline, it could be Klarna, it could be whatever it is. Just let them pay. Handle it later. It'll be okay. And then there's many other things that can be done on the credit card side. We see all kinds of multiple gateways that you can play with. You can have like 3 gateways. If it fails the first one, go to the second one. I mean, you can talk to me later. There's many techniques, even when the credit card is failing. Open up a chat. Okay, this is someone trying to pay. They're failing. Can I help you, sir? That's like the easiest. Open up a chat, have a discussion, and the chat agent will say, hey, I see you have a problem. Can I help you? That's it. And we see many, I mean, we have very interesting customers doing many interesting things. And for example, what we see is on payment, for example, the failures, the credit card transaction failures. Some of them are like fraud or thought to be fraud. So some of our customers, for example, have some of the products which are more tend to be fraudulent or bought by fraudsters. They route them to one kind of a payment gateway, and the other ones to a different gateway. So one is like high fraud risk, the second is low fraud risk. There are all kinds of ways to play. Even if you have card declined or you think it's a fraud, there's still stuff you can convert more, even if this is the case. And we see people optimizing their checkout because this is the most important part. Clear? Any questions? Cool. Discounts. Okay, this is a tough one. Okay, so you want to give a customer a coupon. So it's coupon codes. It's all kinds of codes that are, the honey and etc. It's a mess. Okay. On average, 22%. You're losing 22% on conversion rate when you have a discount failure. So what's the psychology, of course, behind this? Someone wants to get a discount. They're not happy that they didn't get a discount. And by the way, it could be also a $5 discount, a 2% discount. They want to feel this fun of, okay, I got something for less. 22% drop in conversion rate because of discount codes failing. Again, we see customers playing with this. It really depends on the customers. It really depends on how they market it. But if you have 2 or 3 failures, even if it's coming from honey, and you know that this is someone that's playing around, give them a discount. Give them 3%, 4%. Just make them happy. It's going to cost you less than this 22% drop in conversion rate, for sure.
I want to add to that because I'm the type of customer who sees coupon codes. So I go to Google and I search coupon code for that shop, and I try a lot of them. They don't work, and I just abandon cart. So sometimes, if you don't have coupon codes, just hide the coupon field, and so you don't have those people saying, "Oh, I could have a coupon code and save $2 or $3."
That's another option. Okay. One of the most important things is putting the right message in place. Okay, so these can be people that are actually got a coupon by email, by SMS, text, whatever, and they're putting it in, and it says coupon code failure. Please try again. Okay, I'll just copy the same thing again. I'll paste it. I'll do enter. It won't work again, right? That's not the problem. The problem is it's probably not the right product. It has to be above $100. There's all kinds of things that you have, but it doesn't say that. It just says coupon code failure. Right? Give a good message. Why is it failing? Has it expired? It's not valid because it was used already. Has it been used twice? It's a wrong product. It's not. You have to be above $100 to ship. Whatever it is, just give them the answer so they don't have to guess. If it says coupon code failure, you're done. That's it. That's a 22% loss. Expiration, of course, I mean, you should always make sure that your coupons are valid, and there's all kinds of expirations that are happening because someone forgot to extend the expiration, and that we see that happening a lot. Of course, just make sure that that's working. And there's all kinds of stuff we also see, like uppercase, lowercase, all kinds of validations that can be done on the client side or the server side, whatever, but just make sure that That's not a friction point. That if it's an actual, real coupon code put in, it should work. Questions on that? Cool. Other stuff happening. So we see many failures happening on the checkout page. And by the way, on Magento, usually it's the cart. So for some reason, it's like a funnel of all the error messages on the cart. So you can try to pay, it fails, and you redirect it to the cart. In some cases, we see many bugs where the cart is empty, and then you have to go back but that's a different story. But specifically, we see many errors on the checkout page, the validations. Now, in some cases, it's okay. I mean, it's a good validation. It should be in place. But in some cases, you're trying to validate, and the server's just not responding, or not understanding the address, or the shipping address and the billing address are off, or the phone number doesn't connect with the shipping address, or the credit card is not. You can handle that later. That's not a must. You can, if you think of percentage, you're going to lose less if you let them purchase, and then if you really see there's a problem, cancel it. But at least have them buy it, because people are leaving. Empty search results. This actually, I'm a bit surprised this number is a bit low, because we see, I mean, from what I remember, it should be a bit higher. People are searching your website, and in many cases, there's two scenarios. One, is the server is not responding. The second is empty results. They're trying to look for, it's like the same person in the physical store trying to look for something, they can't find it, they're going to walk out. So the search has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, find the synonyms to make it perfect. Find what's failing. You have to give some kind of result. Even if it's, and okay, the worst case is it's like a 404. Oops, 404, sorry. That looks awful. That's admitting you have a problem. If you have an empty search result, no problem. Put in the recommendations. Don't even call it a recommendation. Just show data. 0 search results, that blocks conversion. I'm searching for something, can't find it. Oops, I'm not good enough. I can't find anything for you. Thank you very much. I'll look somewhere else. So one is to remove the validations if necessary. The second is make sure they're working. The third is if they're failing like on a network call, on a tech level, have like a default. So even if it is failing, work with the default. Just make it work. And that's the fallback mechanism. 0 search results. Understand what people are searching for. Understand what's failing, what's yielding 0 results. Put in the right synonyms on a weekly basis. Just make sure people are finding what they're looking for. They'll just leave. They won't find it. Questions about the other segment? Clear. Okay, so we spoke about the business side, how much money you're losing on the business side, okay? And now we're moving to the tech side, okay? So tech side could be load time issues, JavaScript errors, failing third parties. It could be anything technical not working, okay? So on average, if you remember, we spoke about $326,000 lost for 1 million traffic, 100 AOV. So on average, you're losing 178,000 for that kind of a traffic on a tech level. Okay? So now we're going to talk about the breakdowns. Because the breakdowns are in the JavaScript world, in the page load time, and the failed calls. By the way, I know I'm in the business track, but how many are like business owners and how many are tech people? So that's business. How many business run the business, e-commerce? Cool. And tech guys? Cool. Okay. So it's not your fault, tech guys. It's not easy running a site that'll run 24/7 on 20 billion devices with different kind of browsers and cookies, and they were different sites before. It's not easy. There's always work to be done. There's always optimization that can be done. And we love you, okay? So it's not your fault. But optimize, optimize, optimize. Make sure you're working on the right thing that you have to work on, and not just because it's happening 1 million times, it's because you're losing revenue from that action. Okay? JavaScript errors. First of all, every site has a lot of JavaScript errors. That's what happens. Okay? So it's built, I mean, there's so many devices, browsers, etc. It's very hard to accommodate for everything. Many ways to use it. There's a lot of open source there. It's not easy. We divided it into the like internal JavaScript errors, so like code that you're writing, and third parties. And the differentiation inside is like the script error and the type error. To be honest, I'm not sure what the difference is. I'm sorry, but let's look at both the top two as code written by the developers of the company, and then you have the third parties. What can you do? So first of all, we see many websites that we run, that we scan 24/7 the website, and we see that when we have the discussion with the customers, we stopped using that code like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. There's a lot. It's heavy. It's buggy. If you're not using it, remove it. GTM is not a trash can. Okay, it fills up. Remove things. You have to manage it. You have to run on a weekly, monthly, whatever. Just clean up whatever is not in use. Make sure it's running on the right place, on the right pages, etc. It's very easy to add. It's very easy to remove. Let's remove it. Monitor the JavaScript errors. Okay, so it's everyone understands there's JavaScript errors. You have to understand two things. One, where it's happening. Okay, because there's a difference between having a JavaScript on a landing page that there's no input, for example, or a login page or a payment page. That's different. If we recommend working from the bottom up. Let's fix all the JavaScript errors happening on the checkout page. That's the most important. Move up to the cart, and then move up to the top. And the best would be to understand the revenue loss per JavaScript error. Because again, there's a very big difference between, there's scripts that fail on any load time. Doesn't matter where it loads. But it doesn't affect revenue. But there are scripts that do affect revenue. Questions about JavaScript errors affecting conversion rate?
Can you recommend something that can help track and detect these?
Webeyes. It's an amazing product.
I like it. You should tell me more about it.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you, I was supposed to say this in the beginning. I'm Uri, I'm the co-founder of Webeyes. The thing is that all this was my pain for like 10 years. I owned a development company, I outsourced development, I worked a lot on Magento, on Shopify, trading apps, different apps, etc. My pain was giving these answers. Because I would get bombarded from business. Hey, the sales are down, something's wrong, there's no registrations, what's up? I don't know, the New Relic is clean, so that's good. Can you replicate anything? No, I can't replicate. I'll try to replicate. Okay, I'll try to replicate. There's no way to replicate it. There's no problem. I don't know what I'm looking for. That was my pain. And I installed all the APMs that you're familiar with. I installed Hotjar. I installed everything. I didn't find a good way to get these insights. And that's when I began to have like a side project of Webeyes. And then when I found it's much cooler, then I moved to Webeyes. Okay, so this is where I'm coming from. Page load time. This is a discussion for like 20 years. Okay, page load time. That's obvious. You understand it. The page load has to be fast. Now there's a core metrics, right? There's core metrics. That's important. Every second. I mean, I'm not saying anything that you don't know here. Every second counts. Every second in load time is 7% conversion. You know these numbers. We see it mostly on the product page, on the home page, and on the cart. That's where we see it the most. So that would be the places you should optimize the fastest. Many ways to optimize, many tools to optimize. Choose one, two, whatever. I'm sure you're familiar with all the tools. Just find what's not working, make it faster. That's it. That affects conversion immediately. The easiest way to do it is caching. Even a very bad page that's cached well will load fast on a server or on a CDN. That's like the easy way to hide something that's not working is aggressively cache. That's like a patch, but it works. It's quick. You're familiar. Defer images, the image sizes, optimize, optimize, optimize. It's endless. There's always this, the person managing the CRM that adds this image, 5 megabytes across the board on the homepage. There's a banner tomorrow. You have to upload it really quick, and then why is it loading at 10 seconds? Yeah, okay. There's a banner, 5 meg. So look at your load time, optimize it, and I'm sorry to say it's endless. There's always something you could do better. Look at the Google benchmarks, try to be below them. It's as easy as that. So failed, this is it's not the discounts, it's failed calls. So we see many failed calls, Ajax calls. It could be internal, it could be third parties. An Ajax call basically is something fetching data, sending data. That's like something that's active and you want it live. It's not like an image that's cached. It's going to the server, getting information or posting information, coming back. If that's failing, something's bad. On third parties, that can be you won't see the image. It could be you won't see recommendations. The search result won't work. It really depends what third party is failing. But monitor your third parties. Just make sure that they're working. Monitor all of your Ajax call. Make sure that they're working. That's a functionality on your website. And one is monitor, prioritize by the action. So if it's an Ajax that does something that's less important, okay, you can always. I know everyone's busy. I know the developers. There's a pipeline, endless, and it's very hard. There's things that are much more important. That's how it works. I know. Prioritize. Always prioritize. Try to prioritize like per the action. So if there's a checkout payment failure that's returning a 504, that's a much more important problem than whatever it is on the homepage that's not picking a pixel. So try to optimize because development, we know that it's expensive. And yeah, again, remove unused code. Whatever you're not working with, you have to remove it. It's just weight on the website and prone to bugs. Questions till now? Okay, so I'm beginning my summary of what you can do. Okay. So first of all, you have to start working. Optimizing is a job. You have to be focused on it. You have to understand that you're trying to bring in new customers. On the other hand, you're losing 30% of your revenue. You have to be focused on that. You have to be focused on, of course, bringing in the customers, but at least when they're coming, stop losing that money. And I'll just say that we're monitoring over, I think, 200 websites. There's no perfect website. There's always loss. There's always something happening. That's okay. Just put it to the minimum. Don't be at the 30%. Be at 5%, 7%. Friction. Just imagine your customers walking into that door, looking for that shirt, slipping in aisle 6, trying to pay. They're failing. They really want to buy, and you're not making it easier for them. So just always think about the friction. 4 things you need to do. One is track. You have to track the system. You have to put a tracking in place. Webeyes is amazing, of course. There's other tools. You can find any other way to track it. If it's a different tool, if it's a homegrown solution, whatever it is, make it easy and make it trackable so you understand what's happening on the website. Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics is great. It's not enough. All of our customers, 100% of them, have analytics on their pages. But that's looking at the positive side. That's looking at there's 100 people on a product page, only 20 added to cart, but that's 20% conversion. They're not looking at the 80 that's not converting and trying to understand what's happening there. So analytics is good for a different cause. Quantify. It has to be in numbers, in dollars. You have to understand how much money you're losing. You have to understand, prioritize based on lost revenue, not on what's happening the most or customer support is yelling about a new thing, and that's the most important thing. You have to quantify how much money you're losing, and that should be the priority. Set up alerts. The worst thing is to go home on Friday, come back on Monday, there's 0 sales. Something awful happened, no one has any idea why. You're testing it, it's working, and then you found that one of the campaigns was down, pointing to a page that's out of stock. The payment gateway is down. There's all kinds of failures. That's painful. Have real-time alerts, understand what's happening in real time, not in a delay of a day or two. Because these things, this is where you're losing money. Just be alerted immediately about it. Make sure that you're on it. And resolve it. Okay, that's the easiest part, right? No. So understand the problem, get alerted about it, fix it. I know it can be overwhelming, but again, imagine these people suffering. They're trying to buy. It costs you a lot of money to bring them there. They should have a perfect, seamless customer experience. They should have it. Try to make them have it. And I think that's it. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer. If not, I'm walking around. My friend, yes. Mr. Questions.
How does Webeyes solve all this?
So everything that is written here is based on Webeyes data, and we track 100% of the user journey. We quantify, alert. I mean, everything is based on what we do. That's how we do it. I mean, it's like a 1-minute implementation, JavaScript on the page. We capture 100. There's no settings, no configuration, because no one does any configuration. There's no tagging. Automatically, we detect everything, and then automatically you receive insights like lost revenue, top 3 failed on a tech, on a business. You can drill down until you can segment it. It automatically segments and shows you where you're losing money. Get alert about it. That's what we do. That was my pain, and this is how I solved it. And we're working with over 200 customers worldwide. Yeah.
So I guess the big question is, how do we get hold of that deck? Because merchants can take that home and work on it tomorrow and get some good impact.
How do we get the deck? I have no idea. I can send it.
So,
this is my email. Just shoot me an email. I'll reply
so
with the
take
deck.
a photo of Yuri's email, and then you can ask him a lot more questions and get the deck to, get more revenue starting from tomorrow.
Exactly. And by the way, on the website, we have a lost revenue calculator. So you can put in all these numbers and play with the numbers, and you'll get all the information I just presented in real time for different industries, different AOV, etc. You can play with it.
Thank you, Uri.
Thank you.